Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Wakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and His unbegotten Son, Ba'ashem, in the name of Hamashiach Shai, and that connection tweaking. So, the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and His unbegotten Son, Ba'ashem, in the name of Hamashiach Shai. Those are the two names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew of Lashkadash. The Lashkadash tongue, and I say the Rakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akim, Wa'akwa, from the say Shalom, slip tongue words. And this is a quick sit down lesson of the earthquakes in diverse places as of May the 6th, 2026 on this Wednesday night, 10:32 p.m. And this is from the latest earthquakes.usgs.gov. And you had 40, it was like a total of 40 earthquakes was recorded from May the 5th all the way to May the 6th, 2026. And you had a 5.1 earthquake that was 151 kilometers west of northwest of Pangolia, Papua New Guinea. Then you had a 3.5 earthquake in the 12 kilometers north of northwest of Cruz Bay, U.S. Virgin Islands. 3.6 earthquake recorded 102 kilometers north of Charlotte, O'Malley, U.S. Virgin Islands. 2.8 earthquake, 34 kilometers north of 0.3 earthquake recorded of 68 kilometers west of Algo of Chile. 4.6 earthquake recorded 25 kilometers northeast of Lalo, Chocolo of Ecuador, if I pronounced that right. Then you had a 2.7 earthquake recorded that was 17 kilometers southwest in Esperanza, Puerto Rico. 2.7 earthquake recorded 147 kilometers of east of McCarthy, Alaska. 5.1 earthquake recorded in the South Sandwich Island region. 4.4 earthquake in Santa Marmara, Mexico. And I would say in that same similar area, I think like a couple of days ago, it was like a 5.8 earthquake in that area. Especially the southern part. I think like the southern part of Mexico, it was like a 5.8 earthquake a couple of days ago. You had a 3.0 earthquake 32 kilometers east of northeast of Magaliga of New Mexico. 2.6 earthquake recorded 32 kilometers north of northeast at Isabela, Puerto Rico. 3.1 earthquake 6 kilometers south and southwest of Redlands, California. 5.5 earthquake recorded 25 kilometers east and northeast of the Philippines. 4.5 earthquake 111 kilometers north of northwest of Haluyan of India. You had a 4.4 earthquake 98 kilometers north of northwest of Tuvalu, Indonesia. And you had a 5.8 earthquake 235 kilometers east and northeast of Upton Station, Alaska. And that's the same area that I mentioned a while back, like what was that, a couple months back. It was like a 7.5 earthquake in that region over there in Alaska. So ever since then, it's just been having for the past couple months later, it's just been aftershocks of that Altu Station of Alaska. Just like a couple months ago, they got hit with that large 7.5 earthquake in the area because I remember that. And this is a 3.4 earthquake, 177 kilometers east of Alberta, Alaska. 4.3 earthquake is probably an aftershock of that 5.8 earthquake in the Toad Station, Alaska. A 4.3 earthquake recorded 230 kilometers east to southeast of Toad Station, Alaska. 2.6 earthquake recorded 19 kilometers southeast of Silver Spring, Nevada. And that was the same area like a week and a half ago. That was a 5.2 earthquake over at Silver Springs, Alaska. And then the week after that, The week before, after that, it was a 5.7 earthquake in Silver Springs, Nevada. And they even having like heavy aftershocks and swarms of earthquakes over there in Nevada, like the northern, also like the northern part outside of Las Vegas. And you had a 4.8 earthquake recorded 113 kilometers west of Port Vila Bantu. Then you had a 2.6 earthquake recorded 11 kilometers east and northeast of Yenchik of Alaska, if I pronounced that right. And then you had a 5.6 earthquake recorded south of the Kermadec Islands. So it seemed like those was the latest. Yeah, those was the latest earthquakes as of May the 6th, 2026. So in the meantime, bring out some scriptures. And this is the book of Second Ezra. Yep, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure out the time diligently in itself without seeing parts of the signs past, which I had told before. Right, so we're measuring the time diligently itself. This is Second Ezra 9, verse 2. Then thou shalt understand it is a very same time where the highest will begin to visit the world which mine, which he made, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh the highest. As the prophet Ezra mentioned, that the Heavenly Father is going to visit this earth which he made, and especially with these uptick of earthquakes in various places and diverse places. The second Ezra chapter 9 verse 3, it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, uproars, people will right, so increasing earthquakes and uproars, people will. And this is the book of Psalms 18 and verse 7. Yep, it's the book of Psalms 18 and verse 7 reads, it says, then the earth shook and trembled, and the foundations also his moving shaking because rough, right? The great shakings of the earthquakes, because you look up the definition of WROTH, which is rough, which is angry, because the Heavenly Father is angry at the wicked every day. That's why he sends righteous judgments with these earthquakes. And that's what we're seeing. And this is the book of Isaiah. It's the prophet Isaiah, chapter 29. Yep, this is the prophet Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 6. Yep, Isaiah 29, verse 6, it says, thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise and storms and tempests and fire, flaming by fire. Right, so that's what we're seeing. The prophet Isaiah was mentioned that Yahweh of hosts is going to visit earth with the thunder and with the earthquakes, especially with the key word with the earthquakes. And that's what we're seeing on a daily basis. And this is the Gospel of Luke, where Yahushua is speaking in red letter. And this is the book of Luke 21, in verse 11. It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places. Right, so we're going to see an increasing uptick of great earthquakes in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights and great signs shall be from heaven. Right, so more uptick of modern day earthquakes in various places, earthquakes in diverse places on a daily basis. And bring out another precept to that, Matthew 24th chapter, then I'm close out. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 7, where Yahushua speaking through the Holy Scriptures. This is the Gospel of Matthew 24, and verse 7. It reads, it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. It says, there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right, so the famines and pestilence, and then the main category were earthquakes that we're going to continue to see increasing, because it's going to be like in certain places that you would expect to actually get hit with an earthquake. In certain areas that you expect it's unheard of being hit by earthquakes. And then like certain areas is going to be hit by earthquakes that haven't got hit by earthquake in a very long time. Just like for the past couple of years, as recently, been seeing some increasing heavy discussions about a potential large earthquake might hit over there in Southern California. And over there in Mymore as well too. That once they spoke about that, like what was that, 2 years or a year? Yeah, about 2 years back. And then especially with this recent events, Southern California, like the Titanic plate of San Andreas, potentially they might get hit with a large earthquake. So with that, hopefully this sit down lesson was edifying of the earthquakes in diverse places, news updates as of May the 6th, 2026, on this Wednesday night. So hopefully this was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakar Kadash, and the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh and his unbegotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, Balashkadas to Holy Tongue. And I said Barakatham to the elders and apostles, while Akim, while Aqua, for the next time, I would say Kwame Ashrala, and about Shalom.